A bit earlier, I talked to the House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy out of California about all this and more. Kevin McCarthy, good morning. Welcome back to America's Newsroom.
Good morning.
Paul, Ryan last night said the first order of business is Obamacare. Is this something that could take 3 years to get done?
No, we got to get this done very quickly because Obamacare is failing. Premiums are skyrocketing. Insurance are pulling out of the network. Individuals see time and time again the failure of it. So we've got to first repeal it and then go through and think of health care differently. That's why I put out just last week a letter to all governors and all insurance commissioners to give us their ideas as well. We've got to have a new approach when it comes to health care.
All right, so in your view then, repeal and replace takes how long?
Well, I'm not going to put a timeline on it because it's the very first thing we got to get done. I want to make sure we get it done right. So we're going to start as soon as we get sworn in on January 3rd on the process of repealing it and beginning on the process of replacing it as well.
So those who say it could take as long as 3 years, it's not going to happen. That's not acceptable.
Look, we've got to get it done as soon as possible. The premiums are skyrocketing, as I said. They have less choice in the marketplace. There's no one who believes Obamacare is working.
On regulations, Paul Ryan says there are a lot that are just, quote, crushing jobs. That was the phrase he used. Give me one regulation that goes immediately.
Well, we're going to look, first of all, we'll look at anything that has the executive order that he could pull. The first thing that's going to stop is this idea of more regulations compounding on you. The Obama administration has enacted or proposed more than 500 major rulings. A major ruling costs more than $100 million. So the whole concept of business thinking that a new one coming on them a time and again, I think that's going to stop. That's why you see the market growing. Entrepreneurship should be there. And the first thought should be that government is here to help create jobs, not the burdensome of pushing them to another country.
Well, you're in private practice before you went to Washington. Again, give me one that goes away.
Well, the first one I think that's going to go away that we're going to find is the overtime rule. I know it's being held up, but you have a continuing Congressional Review Act on that if that goes through from the very start to know that we can continue to work and that small businesses won't be laying people off.
All right. President-elect Donald Trump says there'll be a 35% import tax on goods that are made by American companies that take their jobs overseas and try to sell that product back here at home. Is that something you'd support?
Well, I think we have to look at this, and what the president-elect is talking about is how do we create more jobs here? The first way we do that is with tax reform. And there's tax reform that you want to lower the burden and make it a greater incentive to be in America. Right now, the incentive is an advantage to have a company outside of America, from repatriation, to keep your money outside, from a lower tax being posted in another country. So if we lower the taxes, make it more incentive to be in America, I think you achieve that goal.
Could you support 35%?
You know what? There's going to be a lot of debates out there. I think there's many ways to going about doing it. In our process of a better way, there's a way we deal with companies in other parts of the country. I think there's a lot of ideas. I'd rather see all the ideas put on the table.
It sounds like a no. Is that a no?
I'm just saying, why do we predetermine? I do not want to get into a trade war. I want companies to be built in America, and I think lowering the tax incentive is the best way about doing it.
What's your relationship with Donald Trump?
I have a very good relationship with Donald Trump. I was actually a delegate to the convention for him. We talk every single week about ideas of going forward. I think he's handling this new administration the right way. He's ahead of the schedule when it comes to picking the new cabinet, but he's taking the time. And the point I think America's not seeing, I think he's being a little Lincoln-esque. He's looking at people, that did not support him, that criticized him. He's trying to find the very, very best. It may be a team of rivals, but it's going to be a new administration. It's going to make America stronger on a foreign policy, but more importantly, he's focused on jobs and economic growth.
I remember seeing you on the floor in Cleveland with the California delegation. What's the expectation for the first 100 days?
Well, I think that people have high expectations, but what we first have to do is show that this is a new administration. And people have to realize that his cabinet has to be confirmed. He's got a Supreme Court appointment as well. I know the Senate will be busy on many of those items, but first and foremost is going to be job creation and economic growth. So when it comes to regulatory, when it comes to looking at a new health care system, but more importantly, transforming what this government has become too big and making sure sure it's able to deliver. The VA reform, which so many of us talked about. The VA system is broken, that we can look at that. I'm excited and can't wait till that first day being sworn in.
Lincoln-esque, sets the bar high. We shall see how it goes. Sir, thank you for your time. Kevin McCarthy,
Thanks,
Majority Leader from California. Thank you, sir.